Don't you like that? Don't you like that? Don't you like that? Hey, welcome to The Break. This is CABBY, the only show that builds basketball one break at a time. I don't roll alone. I got my man's Q. I got Juice. Q was away. He's back and he's going away again. But hey, before we go into all of that, let me tell you about this jam-packed show that we got now. Tonight, it's going to be amazing, man. We're talking about the NCAA. I mean, everybody's talking about it. This is where the future stars of the NBA are coming from. It was a killer one, and I think Juice is going to tell us all about that. And of course, my man's here is going to be talking about the BAL. We know the Tigers will be going to Cairo, and yes, yours truly is going to be there. But hey, we can't forget about what's going on here locally. The JBL, it's on point. Just started. It was amazing. And of course, ICSL and lots more. But before we go on all that, we have a beautiful and amazing guest. Oh, shall I say beautiful or muscular? Maybe muscular.
You see, yeah, beauty is in the eye of a beer holder.
Oh my God. Okay. But anyway, he's still our guy. He's my guy. I think he thinks he can shoot better threes than me. But hey, we're going to talk about that a little later. But before we do all of that, you know, tradition. And my man's Q here, he's not lenting because sometimes when he's lenting, he's not drinking. But I think you're back on it. Q,
yeah.
What's up, my man? Welcome back. And here, this is how you start the show.
Yeah, I like to call it relenting because I'm never, and I'm relentless. But I'm going to relentlessly start our tradition real quick. And I don't know where you guys want to go. Which side do we go? Lifestyle.
You know what? I'm more a vodka man, but I'm going to go with Singleton because I'm feeling kind of fluid. So if I'm flying out to Cairo, if I'm flying out to Cairo, I think whiskey is the one that is probably going to go down good.
Juice, you don't get a choice.
I do not need a choice. Absolutely.
Look, I think this is one of the finest whiskeys out there. Obviously, after the one and only that you introduced to us.
well look, Rich, you are here in spirit with us. We say slunge.
That's right.
The tradition is to good life and health. And we are saying to building basketball one brick at a time.
The drinks.
The drinks.
Yeah. Oh, this goes down good, man. I think if you're a whiskey man out there, you need to know Singleton. I mean, yes, a lot of people are on some Johnny Walker. They talking Glenfiddich. I mean, you've been there. You've been an ambassador before. But
I'll teach you the universal rules.
This is just one of those that
I'm not going to get deep into it, but there's no such thing as bad single malt. That's the only rule you need to really know. Once you know that rule, you're going to be all right in your whiskey journey.
So the single malt, and then what other malt? Double malt.
Let's work with blend and single malt. Those are two basic categories in the whiskey framework.
All right, I'm gonna have to go learn a little something about vodka because that's really where sometimes when I'm partying, I'm leaning towards. But today,
but you know what you put in your vodka? Juice.
Hey, man.
Yo, let's not waste time. And later on, of course, we're going to be talking about the lifestyle. And hey, look at what we got here, the Black Fives. It was very interesting to even know about the Black Fives. It would be amazing to really know a little deeper about what went down. Yeah. But before we do that, hey, tell me, what's going on in the BAL? In fact, before that, tell me about the NCAA, Juice.
Man,
come on
madness.
Now. We talked about that in the last episode.
Man, let me tell you.
Final four, and now?
It's April, though, but just
last weekend was just one of the most beautiful basketball experiences. You know, as we mentioned in the previous episode, that, you know, Duke, North Carolina, just to start it off, easily the best rivalry or the biggest rivalry in basketball, college basketball even. But that game was just amazing, you know. And for me, I was just happy to see the Tar Heels rise above and beat the Blue Devils because, hey, Tar Heels all day, all night, you know. And we saw the retirement of Coach K, finally sailing into the sunset after a legendary career coaching the Blue Devils.
It would have been nice, like you mentioned in the last episode, that, you know, it would have been great if he kill this with a big championship, a chip, and then walk away, drop a mic, and like I'm done.
Into the sunset with the championship, man.
Yeah. And let's talk about your other side, the South Carolina and the dominance. You got
Let
to
me tell you, Coach Don Coach Don, she's doing beautiful things over there, because a few months ago they lost the SEC conference championship to Kentucky. And they did say that, you know what, maybe this is the wake-up call that we needed. We're going for the national championship. And they delivered.
Yeah, they delivered. That was a one-sided game.
So it was very beautiful to actually see them again beating the legendary Yukon. You know, Coach Gino Ariyama, he's a legendary coach in the ladies' game. And for Coach Don to just come up with with South Carolina. You know, imagine if South Carolina and North Carolina got the championships. But hey, another story for another day. You know, but
and the finals.
The finals, we saw the Jayhawks take on North Carolina, and Bill Self, the most paid coach in basketball, in college basketball.
How much is he getting paid? I mean, most paid is how much? Is it gets 8 million, 2 million, 3 million?
13.
I mean, like 13.
13.
I want to go be a coach, man. So, I'm in the wrong job.
So, and again, very close game. And at the end, you see a coaching experience, you know, comes in, and you see the little intricate that just rises a team above. You know,
coaching experience, making free throws, all of universal basketball teams. That's exactly what happens. But hey, great game. I was up. Look how tired I am right now. You know.
Look how tired I am.
So just one last question.
Yeah.
Was Kansas a favorite, or it was just one of those that just came out all of a sudden?
Kansas was ranked number 1.
Okay.
It was one of the number 1 seeds, and North Carolina was ranked 8.
Okay.
So just off the top, just on the base of that, Kansas is a favorite. But, you know, the game of basketball, it can go either way.
But hey, the basketball gods were like, Kansas, you're number 1, so Kansas, you're going to win it all. So
there we go.
At the end, Kansas is the team to beat.
Yeah. They rose above and they did their thing.
Well done to Kansas. Tell me about BAL, man. What's going on there?
Well, we're going to find out. And this is the best part about the Basketball Africa League is
That's
that
right.
It's an unknown. It's what we say is a known unknown. There's four quadrants, but that's a whole nother thing. But looking forward to it. I think Cairo is going to be a different challenge for to the players for a variety of different reasons. What I want to call out is that it is Ramadan out there in Egypt, so players are going to be playing late. Games are at 7 and 11 p.m. right, and speaking to some of the coaches, they're trying to mimic those conditions because guys are not used to balling at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock is normal, but 11 p.m. and you're finishing at 1 p.m.
Whoa.
Well, it's going to be a factor. So teams that balance that and able to shoot consistently in those late hours, I think we'll see them adjust as the tournament goes on. I think the favorites stay the favorites. Zamalek, they're at home. There's no reason why they should not come out the top of the Now Conference. They'll go in as favorites. Petro have got something to prove. I think we're looking at the top 2 teams in that pool. The rest is just going to be a dogfight, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
We think we're ready? I mean, Tigers, we relevant because the Tigers are going, right? Do you think we're ready? I mean, from what you've heard and where you feel, the Tigers are at?
I'm going to put it this way. I think I'm concerned about where the Tigers are in terms of their preparation and yet their squad rotation. I'm not sure how well they're going to do, but like I said, those other 4 teams and Espoir Fakash, South Sudan, Cobra Sports looking really good. It's the FAP out of Cameroon, and it's going to be something. And then our Cape Town Tigers, it's going to be something.
Absolutely.
But something to be excited about. Your first win in the JBL. How you like that, man?
Why you got to bring this heat to our brick? Because we're building the game. One brick at the time.
We are building the game.
How are we building the game?
Right?
Well,
Come on,
we building the game?
We play us first.
I can tell you the first thing people will say, we need to give the youngsters a chance. And that's what I tried.
Mabulala out to Kitty for
QD,
all alone.
QD.
3 points.
QD is back. We know him for that.
And Mr. Ref, you know QD for.
We know.
You know that's what he does.
I've got it.
You tried, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's about the W, right? You gotta combine the veteran experience with the young energy.
I want to see the youth out on the court, Juice. You know, I actually didn't expect to play that many minutes, but it's nice to get a win.
There's a spot in the Masters if you want to play. The Masters.
Nope.
So stop talking about all of that. You balling, so it's all good.
Johannesburg Basketball League is great. I think one thing that it did show and showcase, and I'm glad that Richard's on the show, is that we've got a diversity of talent, both local and international, and the basketball is fun to watch. It can only get better. Teams are going to prep a lot better, so we're looking forward to it.
Jersey Nuggets was a team to beat because they're the ones who took the Tigers almost to to the wire. In fact, they went into overtime for the Tigers to qualify. You beat them. Do you think you're the next team?
I'm just gonna say, look out for MBB because that wasn't even our full roster.
It wasn't even the full roster, but you beat the team to beat.
It wasn't Nuggets full roster either. So
Juice, do you think this is the end of Josie Nugget?
Not at all.
Yeah.
And it's simple. Because Josie Nuggets has got a very beautiful development program, So they call it a conveyor belt, where the coach is involved in many different programs from school to different levels of basketball. The ladies, the juniors, and so it will never be the end. We will never see the end of Josie Nuggets, and that's one of the beautiful things that you love to see. Q just mentioned now that you get out to the court, you want to see the youth. And already we're seeing a few youthful faces within the Josie Nuggets rosters and rotation.
I just want to say, spoken like a true brand ambassador. I'm not sure which team anymore, but it sounds like someone who got the insight.
Well,
I think Richard is just going to have a few objections.
Let me tell you something. The fact that we got Richard and Phenoms are relevant here. Look, let's not even waste time.
Yeah.
Let's go tell you what it is that's happening in the Phenoms, and there's some really amazing acquisitions that he has done. Hey, stay tuned. We're taking a break and check out this video right here.
All right, welcome to Phenomenal Phenoms Basketball Club Television. Thank you for joining us. Click the like button and subscribe. We love promoting players. We love finding outstanding talent. And this seems to be a pretty good year. We've just signed Will Perry. DeBera, Jermel Kennedy, also a well-known name from BAL. We've got Faisal Aiden. We've got Tito and Jovu. The list goes on, and some very special players, hopefully, that will make their presence felt here in South Africa. This is the standard we're going to set as the years go by. Is just in our DNA to do big and better things. My new phrase is more is possible. And of course, be phenomenal or be forgotten.
Yeah, it's rolling. What's good, y'all? It's Jamel.
And Will.
We're coming to South Africa to play in the Bentley Style User Tournament, and we'll be in South Africa to play in the Ashraf Tournament. Hoping to see you guys there.
See you guys there. Let's go to the game.
Looking to see you guys.
Phenomenal Phenoms.
You can hear me now. Welcome to the break, man. This is the show. This is the show that builds basketball one brick at a time, and the thing that you've done for basketball is phenomenal. So be phenomenal or you be forgotten, right? So let me tell you something. I'm really excited about your acquisition. I mean, I saw these guys play for Beira, and they were amazing. In fact, I was expecting a lot more out of Beira in the Sahara Conference. How did you do this? I mean, tell us about the Phenoms.
Before I tell you about the Phenoms, I need to give you your props, Cabby, because you started the ball rolling with a certain high standard of production for basketball. I remember the ESPN events you were putting on, you were managing teams. You started it, and hopefully you're still going to continue to take basketball to the next level. Don't forget, you started it, and we want you to still take it to higher heights.
Look, I used to do all of that, but, I've passed the baton to some of the young fellas. I mean, there was the Hennessy tournament. I don't know if you've seen that. And I was like, you know what? Basketball is in good hands. But, forget about me and what we used to do. Thank you so much for that. What about the Phenoms, man? How did you do this acquisition? And why would you want to do something like that, man? This is big. These are big names.
Well, all right, let's start with the emotional part. I love to win and I hate losing. And everyone that's on this panel today is a sports person and is very competitive, and I'm sure they can relate to that. So winning is a drug. Winning is a drug. When I won my first Ashraf tournament in 2019, I love that feeling, and I want to continue having that feeling. So I know what it takes to win, and I know that the standard in Johannesburg and South Africa is getting higher and higher by the year. So it takes a lot to win and avoid that painful feeling of loss. So that's why I acquired Will and Jermel Kennedy ahead of the Ashraf tournament, a tournament that's very important to me. We're the defending champions. I want to win again, Cabby. I want to win again. And this is an insurance policy that I just put in place.
All right, so let's talk, Rich. The the Phenomenal Phenoms is a brand that you've been growing for a significant amount of time. It's now a well-known brand in the South African basketball space, but you've also gone out to Kenya, and it almost looked like you were going to take our haters from South African basketball in its entirety. You're back now. What are you trying to accomplish? What are your goals?
Well, first of all, ideally, when you look at what Cape Town Tigers have done, they've shown us that anything is possible. So I'm looking at their blueprint, and right now I'm trying to follow that blueprint. I'm trying to position this brand to, be a viable brand for hopefully millions of dollars in order to compete at the highest levels like BAL. Because as you know, a lot of success in basketball is sponsorship dependent. But at the same time, we can't just wait for manna from heaven to fall. We have to position ourselves. We have to have a history, a background, and also you have to come to the table with what you have been able to accomplish. And so that's what I'm trying to do with the little resources that we have right now, to put things in place, create a history, and to show sponsors out there that, hey, we're worth millions of dollars. Why not put millions of dollars behind Phenomenal Phenoms? Look what we've done so far. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be like a Zamalek, or those clubs in Tunisia, the clubs in West Africa that are Angola. We're trying to be like one of those clubs. We're trying to be part of South African history, hopefully part of African history. But it starts, like you said, one brick at a time, and this is our brick.
I'm going to ask another question in case any of these other dudes want to ask, but you talk about one brick at a time, but something that has stood out is that you have a different sponsorship model. You're able to access resources that other clubs aren't. Now, that's good and a bad thing, right? Is it something that can be replicated, or is it just premised on your relationships that you're building on? And again, with all of the resources that you're spending, how do you get back? What do you gain from all of this and running the club?
Well, it's emotional. Basketball is an emotional sport. If you have a competitive nature and you're a builder, such as myself, sometimes the reward is just in seeing young people having a platform to express themselves. The reward is sometimes bringing a talent that would never have had the opportunity to an environment that would allow him to grow. I mean, if you look at some of the players on Cape Town Tigers, like Lebo, Lebo came from the Free State. We sought him out. We asked questions, what talent is in the Free State? And they said, hey, there's this great guy that is very good. And at that time, I wanted to have great players that will stand by our side, play for Phenomenal Phenoms. So we got someone like Lebo. We brought him to Johannesburg, and the rest is history. And, he grew wings, and now look at him. He's in Cape Town Tigers, about to play in the biggest platform on the basketball continent. That is our reward. If we don't get a direct reward from basketball, it'll come from somewhere else. But we're in position to do what we do, and the universe has so many different ways to reward you. It doesn't have to be directly from basketball. But if you ask me personally, I want to do everything I can to make this brand a significant brand, and whatever it takes. We're not looking at plus minuses or the balance sheet for now. Eventually, we'll start looking at the balance sheet.
That's incredible. And at this point, Rich, I think the story of the Phenoms, is one that is so rich, excuse the pun, in terms of the history.
This is why you pay him.
and the talent that has been introduced through this institution. I would like to think of it as an institution because, you just mentioned Lebu now. And the funny thing, or the more interesting thing to me, is that through the years, and again, you've extended your footprint out to Kenya. Q mentioned it, that, okay, it looked like you're continuing to build. It looks like you're going international as far as South Africa is concerned. What are some of the visions as well that you say, okay, now there's a platform such as BAL. What are then some BAL?
The BAL.
Their BAL?
Yeah.
Their ambassador?
There's no BAL.
Their ambassador?
Their BAL.
Can the ambassador ask a question though?
Please ask the question.
Okay.
It's a long one.
You've got a very interesting pick in an ambassador. Let me tell you that, Richard, just off the top. So now, what is some of the vision or the goals in terms of how we then get the Phenoms into a platform such as BAL, such as the national champs, such as, building so that we can see ourselves hopefully qualifying for BAL?
Now, that's a very good question, and
see, I told you.
My answer is going to be somewhat controversial. Okay, so put on your seatbelts a little bit. Look, ideally, we'd like to get to BAL. We'd like to be at that highest platform. When I look at a country like South Africa, yes, we have talent. We have great talent, but can that talent be spread among several clubs? In other words, we have about 5 or 6 professional, semi-professional players that are capable of crossing the borders. 5 or 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's more than that. 5 or 6. Now, can you imagine those 5 or 6 players being spread among about 5 teams that are trying to make club championships? It's going to be very difficult. You mentioned Josie Nuggets has a conveyor belt. I don't have a conveyor belt. But I noticed that there are conveyor belts in Zambia. There's a conveyor belt in Kenya. Don't ask me why, but there seems to be a lot more talent falling from the trees in these countries that I've mentioned, and perhaps is a point of discussion we can talk about here on this panel as to why it is so. So if we get the necessary sponsorship and we could get 8 guys from Zambia or 8 guys from Kenya, we will not close our eyes to those opportunities as well. Like you said, our ultimate goal is to be in BAL, but South Africa is first choice. But the problem has always been the talent number and the competition, and it's always spread among so many teams.
So can I quick one? So what you're essentially saying is that you would be comfortable either using. So you said platform, and I'm picking up on your words. So you're saying South Africa is a primary platform, but given sponsorship or shall we say favorable environmental conditions, you would not be hesitant to move the club to either Zambia or Kenya and then adopt whatever structures are needed in order to try and qualify to the Basketball Africa League if need be.
If need be, absolutely. Let's put it in simple terms. Let's say you've acquired a sponsor for about $3 million, $4 million, or $5 million, and the goal is to make it to the Basketball Africa League, and you want to make sure you make it. You have to pull out all the stops, and you have to actually look for the path of least resistance. And what I mean by that is the pathway that offers you the most or abundant talent. So I will keep an eye out for these 2 different countries. But again, South Africa is ideal. But how do you operate in South Africa if one club has all the talent? How do you do it?
So
how do you qualify
Richard,
for the club championship?
Yeah, so Richard, you got a good point. I think my question is really, what is the base of your club? Ultimately, the base of the club is how many nationals you have in a club. So if you have majority South African, then you're a South African club. If you have majority Kenyans, you're a Kenyan club. If you're majority Zambians, you're a Zambian club. But it seems like you have a lot of foreign nationals in a club that's based in South Africa. If you had to say this is my base on the basis of the number of foreign nationals that you have, what would that be? Because in my mind, I'm thinking Phenoms is a South African brand or is a South African club, but with international talent. So how would you describe what Phenoms really is? Because I'm trying to see if I can support Phenoms, but I'm South African at heart before I'm international. So how would you sell Phenoms to me?
First of all, Phenomenal Phenoms is an international brand. I like to position that way, and we're eclectic. And we are in South Africa. And to your point and to your question, the majority of players on my team in 2022 are Zambian. Okay, but it doesn't mean we're not a South African team. It's just that the majority of our players this year are Zambian. So we're taking it one step at a time. It's a gradient scale. Our objective is to win, and continue to win and attract the necessary sponsors for us to make big moves. You can't make a big move if you haven't developed a history of winning. So we want to win first, show our record to the people with deep pockets, and then make a major move. That major move could be, yes, still in South Africa, or it could be in Zambia, or it could be in Kenya. We want to get to the highest level. To Q's question, we like to play in BAL. So you tell me, where's the best in the path of least resistance to get to BAL? When you consider all the tough qualifications that you have to go through and the talent necessary to, raise your head above water. You tell me, where is the best place to invest millions and millions of dollars?
All right. So I get that. And I think in my understanding of the politics of the sport and the game itself, I think, Richard, the reality is if you want to get to BAL, the BAL, you would have to be stationed in a country that has aspiration to get there. And the reason why, for me, it's really important for me to ask you this question is that unless you say you're a South African team or a Zambian team or a Kenyan team, no matter how many tournaments, I think we're shooting outside, so bugs, I think of, it's a common thing. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. The reality is that if you want to get to BAL, you're going to have to decide where your basis is and win through the process until you win the national tournament there. So if you're telling me you're an international brand with players based in Zambia and being a South African club or a South African based club, to me it doesn't give me the comfort that you would want to get the brand to the levels where you'd say, okay, you qualify for BAL, which ultimately is what will attract sponsorship. So what do you say to that?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Like I said, it's one step at a time. It's brick by brick, no pun intended. And we're trying to develop ourselves to the stage where we can make very important decisions in that regard. But right now, we're in South Africa and we're enjoying the game of basketball, building the brand, and acquiring the sponsorship and the relationships that we need where we are. So we're standing on our square and we're wanting more. That's where we are right now. So we don't know what the future holds in terms of which country we'll be in if millions of dollars drop. Hopefully, we'd like to be here because this is where our root is. But remember, at the same time, if you're going to be strategic and you want to win it all, you have to make difficult decisions. The worst thing president of basketball operations can do is to spend millions of dollars, on a team that's not ready to go. I mean, you've seen it even in the NBA. Brands move from city to city. You saw the Seattle Supersonics move to Oklahoma City. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It happens. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, these things happen. So I'm not predicting the future. No one knows what the future holds, but we're just trying to be black and white, especially when it comes to dollars and cents.
Well, I think it's I think we've got what we need to get from you this evening, and we thank you for your insight, for real. And we don't often get to just pick your brain in this manner with the different minds that are around the panel here. I just want to say that you're a needed entity in South African basketball because you're a scale by which teams like to measure themselves, and we'll commend you again for recruiting some top talent. We look forward to the competition that you're going to bring in 2022, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun playing against Phenomenal Phenoms, going up against Richard and the Brand. Everybody wants to win right now.
Yeah, of course. And Juice, you got something for Richard before I close it out?
I mean, after the game on Saturday, by the way, congratulations for winning that opening game on Saturday, Rich. We're definitely looking forward to the rest of the season, because after the hiatus that the league had last season, everyone is definitely lacing up for a great one. And we saw bits and pieces of that, of what potentially lies ahead this past weekend, and we're looking forward to the JBL. And and as ambassador, I'm looking forward to seeing the team.
Yeah,
I just want to say that this is not a paid for sponsorship and not a paid for advertisement. That last piece, that's all.
Look, Richard, thank you so much for being a part of the break, and you've done a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
And that name for the team fit for purpose. But what do you want to say to potential fans or the current fans or anybody and everybody that's watching the games that Phenoms are playing in, or the games that Phenoms will be playing in, especially the Ashraf tournament with Perry and Kennedy? I mean, what is it that you want to say to those guys out there?
Well, first of all, let me start by saying all three of you guys, especially, remember, you guys are the pioneers. You're the ones who inspired this whole thing. I remember also, I don't know if Q remembered me. I was a fanboy, when Q was playing back in the day. And you too as well, Cabby. So those are the guys, the African warriors. I used to just sit around and watch those guys play. I used to watch them dunk and wonder, when will I ever be able to dunk like that? So it was those guys that just inspired me to continue in this game. And I remember, Cabby, you also mentioned that a long time ago, you described me as a lifer. I don't know if you remembered saying something like that. Do you understand what I mean by lifer?
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Basketball.
Gotcha.
It came from your mouth. And you're also a lifer as well. So thank you guys for all of that. And then finally, JBL is real. We played our first game on the 2nd.
Salute.
And I thought it was going to be easy, and it wasn't. So JBL is real, and South African talent is growing by the day. It's not as easy as I thought it would be, and we're buckling up and even practicing as we speak, harder and harder.
And give us your motto for this year, Rich, because I know we've got
my motto for this year
forgotten. Yeah.
My motto for this year is: more is possible. More is possible. More is possible. And that applies to everything all around, whether it's money, whether it's sponsorship, whether it's building the brand, whether it's acquiring players you never thought you would acquire. More is possible. So there's no limitations. Let's take this basketball thing to the highest heights. And we have to thank B-Ball Sheriff. Without him,
Production
we wouldn't
team.
be reaching
Bang.
the number of people we are reaching right now. So B-Ball Sheriff. We need more B-Ball Sheriffs in various aspects. What Q is doing, what Cabby is doing, what Mogul Juice is doing. We need more of that. And we need some talk shows. We need some we need our own sports center.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Talking about the players, what happened the previous weekend, what happened in the games. We are ready for that right now. We've got B-Ball Sheriff. You're ready for that. That's what's going to grow our game. That's what's going to bring the money rolling in.
Man, Richard, thank you so much, man. It's been amazing having you around, and good luck to the Phenoms and everything that you have in store for them and the future that you have for the Phenoms. And yeah, the signing for William Perry and Kennedy, man, that is a signing of note. Those who are going to be at the Ashraf tournament, you better be there, because you're going to be up for a good show. Those guys can ball for real. Thank you so much to our guest. And yeah, it was really, really fun having Richard and Ty around. Yo, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we want to talk about this thing called the Black Fives. see you when you get back.
Salute.
Peace, Richard. Yo, man. Richard Nta, I wish you nothing but the best. This was the best interview ever. We like people who are building basketball one brick at a time. That's the reason why we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, look, that was an amazing, beautiful interview. And when I said beautiful, I meant the interview. I didn't mean the man.
Hang on.
I don't want to say it again, but beautiful is in the eye of the
beer holder.
Beautiful. Anyway, yo, Q, we talk about the lifestyle show. This is a lifestyle show. That's why we got the Singleton and, of course, Ciroc. No one is drinking Ciroc, and I'm not going to be here next week, so I guess I'm going to see if I can take it to Egypt. I don't even know during Ramadan if they sell alcohol in Egypt, so maybe I should take the bottle with me.
Duty-free, Baba. You can't take this thing there.
But, yo, forget about all that. Man, tell me about what you're wearing, man. You're looking like Black Fives, Puma, whatever.
First, I want to get comments on the color scheme. Juice, you're our resident, fashionista.
Oh, yeah. That's right, darling. So the first thing that I picked up from this is it just straight off the top.
I
It
just want the
reminded me
aesthetics.
of the arena in Rwanda.
Hello.
That's perfect.
So deep Africa. I love it.
Because I think what you're saying already resonates. So
Yeah.
this is a collaboration. This is Puma and it's Black Fives. And what I really liked is once I picked it and I went to go do some research on it, Black Fives is an organization in the United States that has partnered with Puma, and what they do is they keep alive the memory of the athletes who played basketball pre the NBA.
Pre the NBA,
So
when there was no money, it was all about the love.
1904 to 1950 something.
That's right.
These are the guys who went into the hostile arenas, played the game of basketball, represented black athletes in a time of serious racism, and segregation. We can relate to that because of where we are in our circumstance, but. So they partnered with Puma to create legacy pieces and legacy apparel that commemorates that. And this is the stylish stuff that they come up with. So, like you said, this look like Rwanda, and you see the Black Fives written right there. I'm very honored to be wearing a piece like this, and I think I wear it quite well, if I must say so myself.
The reality is, as soon as you walked in, this is all I saw. I didn't look at anything else. This is all I saw.
Absolutely.
And yes,
Absolutely.
It's the colors.
Absolutely.
They jump out at you. Out
at us.
Ooh,
there's
hello,
singles.
Singleton.
Hello, singles.
Hello. You gotta be single to be Singleton. They jump out at you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I like that, and the whole branding of it, Black Fives. And the first thing that I said is, Q, what the hell is this? And the history behind it talks to exactly what the brick is about.
And that's why I really like the messaging, because you know what? I think how difficult it must have been for the black players in 1904 to 1950. We've seen film on it, but whether you see film or you go and read up on the history, right? They faced way more adversity than we do trying to build a game of basketball in South Africa. But the fact that you can show that energy resonates. This is the piece that I picked out of all the clothing in the store, and it shows that where we're at and what we're trying to do is the right thing. So who knows? Brick clothing coming your way in 2025.
Holler!
You know, you might see some bricks and basketballs.
Word.
Puma, hit us up if you want.
Holler!
We are always available for these collabs, and we are fashionable gents still in our ages.
What I like about all this is that now we are online, so these kind of memories will be something that will live forever.
I just want to put this out there because you can't go too heavy on the color scheme on the. Let me just put that out because you're on the footwear.
Okay.
Because you have to match. Because see, if you take away the focus from, so you have to only go with just a line.
Lifestyle.
The shoe.
That's what you got to do. See, you can't go because if you go top heavy, I believe you can't go bottom heavy.
Absolute.
And that's just a simple fashion rule. I don't know.
Decentralization, because there has to be a focal point.
So, Juice, you are a lifestyle guy. What do you think?
Listen, as a student of the game, I enjoy stories like this. You look at history of the game, such as the Harlem Globetrotters for one. You know, some of the tough times that they faced back in when they were established in 1926. You know, there was a time in New York when they used to travel around playing different teams. And there's an interesting story where there's certain arenas that they get to, and then the opponents, they would make the nets wet. Because these guys were so quick on the court that whenever they score, now these guys have to make sure that, okay, when we score, the ball has to hold in the net to give us time to go back to defense type thing.
You think those practices have stopped? Research.
Absolutely.
Do you think those practices have stopped in the game? You know they do that.
Yeah.
You're a transition-based team. They put the nets a little smaller.
Yeah.
They are faster than you. They open the nets a little wider. You have to keep eyes on these things.
Absolutely. So I love the story, man, and I just, man, this is beautiful. You know, to look at and the story behind it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Well, you heard it, and you heard it first on the break. Personally, I did not know Black Fives. Then now I know Black Fives and the history behind it. And you know what? If we give you more information, there'll be an information overload. Already, you heard from Richard. You heard about the JBL, you heard about the NCAA, you heard about all of it right here on the break. The only show that is building basketball one brick at a time. But before we go, you want to say something?
Before we just go, I'd actually like to wish you guys bon voyage and a beautiful trip.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Get out there in Egypt, represent us, but more than anything, have fun in the name of the game, man.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you guys snippets of what it is that the vibe is like, you know, the pyramids, the this, the that. Hey, it's all about basketball, but it's not only about basketball. Tourism with basketball is the best. It's all about lifestyle.
I'm going to be out there working, so I ain't going to do none of that. You'll see courtside pictures.
Bring us a brick from the pyramid.
Yo, man, and just like that, this show is done. This show is done.
Over.
Man, it was a beautiful, beautiful day of basketball, talking basketball, Singleton, Ciroc, basketball, lifestyle, man. And
Phenomenal
Puma,
show.
You cannot go away without saying the word Puma. Go get your Puma out there. Go get your Black Fives. This is CABBY signing out. Juice, Quintin.
Phenomenal show.
Phenomenal show. We out.
Ambassador.
Peace.
Singleton. Goodbye. Love you.